Well, hello, everybody. My name is Sarah, and this is Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto mostly these days. How fun is that? Do you have your cuppa? Mm-hmm. My variety today is bulletproof coffee, the original, and I like it, and I make it strong. We got a new little slimline Keurig at Bed Bath and Beyond. It has a strong button, very simple, very so I gained some real estate on my counter. It's kind of fun. So when I use the Instapot, I don't have to like move six things to be able to cook it on the counter. Oh, the efficiency of it all. And many of you have seen my kitchen. It's very old fashioned. There's nothing fancy. I don't even have a dishwasher. There's no garbage disposal. It is what it is, and I like it. It's old, like me, and needs painting, like me. But I'm not painting. So how's everybody doing today? Here we are in the middle of August. Who knew? Are you sweating with the oldies like I am? Oh, yeah. Well, this little video is about self-sabotage. Are you familiar with self-sabotage? Are you so familiar with it that you can't even call it self-sabotage and recognize that this is one of the pratfalls of your food program, and you're like me, almost 70 years old, and you've had so many self-sabotaging events that you don't even realize they're part of the plan in your food journey, even though it's not healthy and it doesn't work out for you. Some of us have dealt with our self-sabotaging ways head on. And, it's very ironic how it goes, because I know I'm a food, carb, sugar addict. And so I got myself into so many jams and just did the shoulder shrug. Well, that's how it goes when I'm there, or when I do this, or how I do that. And, a lot of people just do it at Christmas, and it's just part of their plan. It's like, I know I'm going to overeat. I know I'm going to eat all those things that I'm not supposed to on the keto food plan, but I do anyway because I love it. I plan for it, and I know in January I will get right back on track, start weighing and measuring, start using the Chronometer, the Fitness Pal, the whatever plan you have that works. But is it really working out for you, or are you just so used to doing it that you haven't taken a step back and said, whoa, Nelly, I got to deal with this? I mean, the fourth day into a Christmas binge, right? But you could have the same thing in the summer, because the summer, I have always, always, always said that the summer is much more challenging to the naughty foods, the snacking, the more than OMAD, six mad. And, it's much more likely for you to have something that you wouldn't were it February. I don't know why, but I just think that summer is a minefield of temptation with so many different things. Even certain vegetables in the summer are pull, even for you doing carnivore and allowing yourself, a couple of extra veg carbs in the summer because of all the abundance. But if you really want to remain vigilant and accountable to yourself, you need to, pull on those reins and know that the things that you're having could stall, prevent weight loss, or even add weight gain. And it's the mentality up here. And I'm in the process of learning how to be a moderator with certain foods that before I was an abstainer. And I've been in this keto all the way up to strict carnivore and back again for a long, long time. And so, I used to think that I was always one bite away from binging, gaining it all back. I still weigh less than I weighed in the third grade. So, um, I have to, it's something that I'm very vigilant about. I don't recommend this to you if you're like 6 months into ketos. Freddie, there's Freddie. Or a year into keto. It's like after you've reached your weight loss. I remember that Michelle Rock she's got a great keto station, and I love just watching how she makes a cup of coffee makes me want to go do it. She's got an espresso machine and all kinds of stuff. But one of the things that she said in her food journey when she lost the first 100 pounds was that there were going to be no treats until after she lost at least the 100. She's struggled since then, which is the difficult part, and I understand, because she had that great weight loss. She reached what the goal was that she had, and then the temptations came in, and before you knew it, she was up 30 or 40 pounds. And I'm not talking about getting to there. That's a scary thing. I'm just talking about the self-sabotage of being around people, being around certain events, being around family, places, things where you used to have something that you had. Now, if you're like anywhere close to my age, over 50, you are familiar with sentimental places. You are familiar with what you did before for weight loss. You are familiar with what worked and what didn't work. But if you're talking 15 or 20 years later, you really don't have. It's really not, you're comparing apples and artichokes at this point, because what might have worked for you at 35 to 40 with, like, say, baby weight or something like that, how do you know it's going to work at 50 or 55 unless you do it? Or you have to make modifications. And one of the things about being older, doing keto, is that we aren't like the little 25-year-olds that we watch that still do keto, that maintain a healthy weight and et cetera, et cetera. It's not the same. That's why I keep doing this channel after all these years, because women and men our age aren't being studied, aren't being monitored. Nobody's writing books about us and our metabolism. We just have known, since we read those stupid, dumb articles in Woman's Health or Cosmopolitan or some diet thing that we watched on the internet. We know that each year they say that our metabolism slows down 10 more %. So by the time you get to 70, go ahead, eat a cucumber, see if you don't gain weight, right? Kidding. But you do have to know that maybe some changes and readjusting, readapting may have to take place. Just because it worked for you at 35 doesn't mean it's going to work for you at 70. And, I have a bestie here online. I have quite a few, but this particular one was hell-bent on saying CICO, calories in, calories out, for women of a certain age and lifestyle. And I think she's right. And I didn't like hearing it, but then I had to, I had to hear it and say, this could apply to me. That was part of when I got to the carnivore challenge of keeping gaining weight and keeping doing it, eat more, gaining weight, eat more meat. And I followed along, even though, the half part of my brain that was still a little bit sharp was saying, does this make sense to you? The other half was saying, okay, I'll eat more meat. And I was getting to the place of like too much of a good thing, and it was. And so, as I re-entered back into the keto world and started adding small bits of veg and to see what would happen, I'm delighted, because I do use my chronometer again. And, it certain places it's like, you don't need to use that. You don't need to don't worry about weighing and measuring and, and it's like, well, I think at my age with my metabolism, it's necessary that I do monitor it. Not saying you have to. I'm just saying it keeps me in a place where there is no self-sabotage going on. I don't want to sabotage what I've got. After going back to keto, I was doing keto for 3 weeks, and I weighed myself and I lost 5 pounds. And I was very, very happy about that. And I don't know why or wherefore. I don't question it. When I see it go down, I say, that's good. When I see it go up, I might question it. But when it goes down, it's like, I don't care how I did it, but I did it. And I know that it's because I'm weighing and measuring and doing the chronometer. And it just is helping me out because I don't know about you, but I have portion distortion. In addition to the varied addictions, portion distortion is looking down at like perhaps an 18-ounce cut of ribeye and eating it and saying all I had was a steak. Why aren't I losing? And my body said, Sarah, did you look that up in the chronometer and put in visible fat eaten as well as just, the ribeye portion of the meat and see that it's like, it could be 1,700 calories. I don't know. I'm just giving for example. Well, is 1,700 calories too much for my frame and age and metabolism to lose weight or maintain weight on? Could be. Calories in, calories out. It's one way of finding out. So going back to keto, what are the items that I have? Well, I have a small amount of veg, and I do have cheese, and I do have dairy, and I did have fruit a couple of times. Haven't had it now in about 3 weeks since the raspberry bushes went away, or the birds won. And so I see that the carb count on the veggies still remains something that I need to pay attention to. I have some 20 total never net carb days. That's when I'm having something like a spaghetti squash for my OMAD. And so that's like 20 total carbs for the half. And this week I've got planned an acorn squash stuffed with pork, bacon, and I think organic yellow squash. That's all been sauteed up and then stuffed into the acorn squash. And I look forward to that. So it's like a meal in a bowl. And but I have to pay attention to the veg carbs because in my little world, they count. And so I can't be cavalier like some of the videos that I watch, how they are. And God bless them, they can have what they can have. But I had to learn and see and accept that my body does well with a well-planned OMAD every day. And you see them, And my calories sometimes are like 1,000 calories. Sometimes they're less. But it's what my body asks for. Am I going to die of rickets or whatever it is that people think you'll die of if you don't have enough calories? Well, maybe that's enough calories for me. It's just one of those things. I'm in my 2nd month of keto with total carbs, usually never going above the 20 total. I don't do the bars. I don't do keto bread. I don't do keto treats. I'm adapting to having some food that is different, that I'm learning to adjust to and to become a moderator with. But for the most part, what you see is what I have every day, with total carbs usually under 10 and on squash days under 20. And it just works for me. I'm satiated. I'm not hungry the next day. I do what Dr. Cyrus says. I have my black coffee as a bridge. I also have a little dish of Celtic salt crystals. They're bigger. They're coarse ground like kosher salt. And I stick my tongue in them, and I have a few glugs of Gerolsteiner water. That helps with hunger. But because I've been doing OMAD for years now, my body is used to don't worry. In a few hours, you will have that meal. So my body is used to, like, a couple of swigs of Gerstoller with the salt crystals 2 times a day, and then 2 cups of coffee. This is a 5-ouncer. It looks bigger on the screen. And so then I monitor my calories. But I'm not jonesing in between. I've adapted. I've gotten used to it. I like weighing less, feeling less bloat, feeling leaner. And so with that comes the compromise. Are you going to overeat because somebody says it's legal and you can have as many veggies as you want? I can't. I tried. My gut told me, and the bloat told me, and whatever. And it's not eating to the point of bloat. It's eating to the point of satiated. So sometimes when I push away from the table, ironically, it's the burger and hot dog night. When I feel like I could eat more, it's because it took less time to eat it. I see that now. Like when I have that little no pasta lasagna, by the time I finish that, because it's hot and it's bite-sized pieces and it takes a while, I'm satiated. It's weird, but that's how I figure it. So when something takes me 20, 25 minutes to eat, like having the steak that we'll have today, I am recording this on a Sunday, is that it takes a while to eat, chew, swallow. So, I'm satiated by the time I get to the end. And I have with that a couple of veg. Maybe I'll have 3 today. I don't know. And it just works. So I continue to do what works for me. But they're lessons that are learned with paying strict attention. But when it comes to self-sabotage, I know places that are dangerous for me. And so I don't do them anymore, or I'm totally, totally, totally aware of how it is. And I take care of myself by either eating before I go to the event, or when I get to the event, I've got a lot of my own foods, like the big Christmas party with Greg's family. I bring that little casserole, actually with the sausage and the burger. Well, it's like the no pasta lasagna. And I know having that is going to work. And that all of the surrounding foods that would previously call out to me, it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to make me feel good the next day. I don't want to have a food hangover that takes my gut 3 days to get used to. It's no longer worth it. But that's because it's no longer worth it. And you have to get to a place in your own food journey where it's no longer worth it to self-sabotage. It's tough. It's totally personal. And sometimes it's 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But you have to decide what is the important part of that. You don't want to feel that way. You don't want the hangover, the emotional hangover, the food hangover, the scale gaining, or that sort of stuff. Or, you want to get out of that. So when you get back home after an event, you can put your head on the pillow and say, I had 100% abstinent to my food plan that is written somewhere that I adhered to. That's a pretty great feeling. And waking up the next day saying, oh, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I feel so happy. And guess what? The days you don't do it begin to add up, and you begin to have a really good run of what abstinence looks like in your personal food program. It could be different than mine, and that's fine. It's just what works for you and what gives you clear conscience. You go to bed, you've eaten clean, you wake up, you ate clean the day before and the last 18 days before that. Doesn't that feel good? It's such a personal, to me, it's a personal high to have that abstinence day after day after day and know that I did it and that I've gotten used to less food, but it's still satiating and it still gets the job done, if you know what I mean. So this has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom in Food, and I'm so glad you're here. I love hearing that you're coming back now that I'm doing keto again. It's a great feeling to have you back and to be back. I'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.